you like this?
Caribbean to a man with scissors for hands, the famously private actor, excuse me, sat down with me for a wide-ranging conversation. We began by talking about his new character, Tonto, in The Lone Ranger. He told me how he puts his own spin on that classic role.
I just saw this guy as this kind of very, interesting sort of warrior, and there was I saw a way to tip the cliche of the portrayal of Native Americans. First and foremost was these people must be respected. These Native Americans, these human beings, need to be respected. They need to be treated with dignity, and then the entertainment sort of part came later.
But you remember watching Tonto as a child?
Oh yeah, I was a big fan. I was a big fan. I loved it, but always, even at the ripe old age of 5, 6 years old, I was always somewhat perturbed at the idea of Tonto being a sidekick.
Take a look at this. This is Rolling Stone magazine, but there you are.
There he is. Yeah.
There he is. And take a look at this. You know this photograph.
Yeah, that was the inspiration.
That was the inspiration.
That was indeed the inspiration. I saw that. I was immediately struck by the lines going down his face, because it appeared to me that as if the man had been cut into quarters, And there were the various sections of the man: the personality, the rage, the damaged child, the this, the that, So
you could see all that in the face.
That's what I felt, And then I thought, oh, that's great. The bird's on his head. Oh no, it's not on his head. It's flying behind him. And I thought, well, it should be on his head, of course.
That's the end of the line. Can we jump?
I think that even, now, when presented with the images of Tonto, Disney were struck by them. I think that when we went into production and they saw what was what I actually looked like really fully, I think that they were a little bit worried again.
They had more doubts.
And yeah, and that's sort of that. That's the kind of stimulus. It's stimulating for me. I find if somebody's a little worried about what I'm doing, then I think I might be doing it.
You must be doing something right.
Must be doing it right.
If they're not worried, you're worried.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. If I don't see some sort of panic or fear near me, then I get worried.
Well, were you worried when you turned 50?
No, it was like, it was just a wake up. It's another day, and everybody makes a deal about, the idea of, 50, half a century and stuff like that. It felt like 40 to me. It just felt like another decade, really, I suppose the only thing at 50 you can really start to look forward to is just total irresponsibility.
Irresponsibility or responsibility?
Total irresponsibility. Yeah. As you get older, you can just sit in a chair, can't you? You can wear anything you want. You can walk down. Old people dress cool.
Yeah,
they wear
do.
sweatpants. The elderly have it down.
Somebody once said to me, when I became 60, I used to care about what people thought of me. Now I only care about what I think of them.
Yeah, exactly. I remember Marlon distinctly saying, he reached a certain point in his life where he just finally was able to utter the words, "I just don't care." And the way he said it to me was, it was like it was as if he had attained nirvana.
He worried a little bit about you working too hard.
Yeah.
He said what?
He said, how many films do you do a year? And I said, I don't know, it depends, maybe 3. He said, too much. I said, what do you mean too much? He said, we only have so many faces in our pockets. And I thought,
you got it.
It makes sense, man. I guess, you run out of characters.
Are you still learning about acting?
Oh, I think you learn every time out of the gate. I think that's the thrilling thing about the process, is that every time you're out there and you give it a shot, with a character that might make people a little nervous initially, especially people with their wallets involved. The process itself is a gas, and you're out there trying to do something different each time, because each time you try something different, you're stretching out a bit.
I knew you'd warm up to me. Commodore Norring's in my effects, please.
What have kids meant for you?
Kids?
Your kids?
My kids? Everything.
What do you mean?
Everything. They're, they've certainly made me grow up, that's for sure.
Really?
Yeah, well, they made me.
You mean take responsibility, or?
Well, no, just as they sort of progress throughout life, and my son, my boy Jack, is now 11. My daughter Lily Rose is 14. You start getting hit with some very interesting situations in life, as a parent, when they approach that teenage arena, which is frightening because you still have memories of that age and the things that you might have been doing at that age. So, yeah, no, you can't.
And you lay awake thinking, God, I hope they don't do what I did.
Oh God, but please don't do what I did.
Yeah, but I mean, really, you could explain and talk to them in the split from their mother and having to come, what is always unpleasant, regardless of what happens.
Always. But they, I mean, my kids and Vanessa, by the way, we'd arrived at a place, as people do. When you have children, there's just no room for lies. There's no room for anything but the truth. It's not anything other than that is a bad example, I believe. So we were just very truthful with them, and they were incredibly understanding, incredibly accepting. I was extremely proud of them, the way they dealt with it.
Music, too.
Yeah.
Music is what you wanted to be.
It still is my life. It always was. It's just, I just don't do it for a living anymore, It's my natural habitat, really, is to have a guitar strapped to me.
Yeah, but when you played, you didn't want to be the vocalist, you wanted to be the man in the shadows.
I wanted to, exactly. When I was, playing clubs at, 15, 16, 17 years old, even then, I was, trying to stay out of the lights, tried to stay in the darkness and just play my guitar.
Now, is any of that still part of who you are, the sense of?
Most definitely.
Really?
The idea of being that lead singer, of being the front man, to me, when you're in a group or a band, is.
So you'd rather be Keith than Mick?
I'd rather be Keith than Mick, indeed. Yeah, yeah. That's what it boils down to. No disrespect, Mick.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
Exactly.
None whatsoever.
Be a good vocalist is fine with me. I just want to be back there.
Great. I can't do that. Don't want to. Yeah.
So look ahead at 50 to where the priorities are. What are they?
I think now in this if at 50, let's say, the start of a new decade, I think the goals are maybe slightly more selfish in a sense, not selfish, but that search for a little more freedom here and there, maybe a little less work, a little more time with the kids, a little more freedom, a little more time off, just more space, more ability to breathe and not have to be the novelty.
Or this.
You and Al Pacino work together, and Donnie Brasco.
Yes.
Yeah, boy, that's every time I see that, and you can't not watch it. Don't make any difference where you get into that movie. You got to continue. But you've probably never seen that one either, have you?
No.
Yeah. What was Al like? I bet that was a good combination for you.
Al's fantastic. I mean, Al is, he's a legend. He's Al Pacino. He's an amazing actor, certainly. But the one thing I didn't really know about Pacino prior to the shooting was that he was certifiably insane.
Oh, really? You've seen the paperwork, apparently. How does that manifest itself?
He had, he's a joke. He likes to tell jokes.
Likes to tell jokes, so.
Yeah, he likes to tell jokes, and he liked to tell me this one specific joke over and over. And I really didn't understand it.
Didn't get the joke.
I didn't get the joke.
Yeah, and he thought it was your problem that you didn't get the joke.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we definitely thought it was my problem.
So he keeps wearing you down with the same
He
joke.
inflicted it upon me, and I could feel like, IQ points dropping.
Yeah. Yeah, the greater the pressure, the dumber you feel.
Yeah, just
I know,
go kind of Jello-like. And,
yeah. Did you ever understand the joke?
I finally figured it out, yeah.
What, do you remember the joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's Al used to, he'd lean over and he'd go, John. Skeleton goes into a bar, orders a beer and a mop.
What I mean?
Yeah, I know.
On a loop?
Yeah,
On a
over
loop.
and over and over again. I must say, you kind of expect a little more from Al Pacino. I'm kind of on your side here. I get it, but I don't want to admit that I get it.
He would howl.
Oh, he would howl.
Howl after he told-
every time he told the joke.
Yeah, he would.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
The important thing is we love him.